All right, hey guys, Dakota from Carteropolis TCG. Today we're going to be doing a deck profile for Weiss Mushoku Tensei. I piloted this deck to a top 8 finish for Bushiroad's Springfest Ontario event. My individual record was 5-2, which was the same as our team record, 5-2, getting into top 8. And then I did end up losing in top 8, and I also lost that match. So overall record was 5-3. Yeah, the deck's very good. It's
understatement of the century.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's just it's not challenged by much in the English format right now. I mean, there's some scary decks out there for sure. But yeah, it does seem like the best deck to be playing. It was definitely the best deck for that tournament. It was everywhere.
Yeah, every team we went against, there was one Mushoku player.
Yeah.
And in top 8, only one of the teams didn't have Mushoku in their lineup.
Yeah.
If that says anything.
Yeah, so 7 Mushoku decks out of 8 in top 8.
Yeah, exactly.
Possible out of 8 possible. Yeah.
And I think they were all this deck. There was one that was the
Pants choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my matchups were a lot of mirror matches because I was in A slot. So I feel like for the most part I would against usually the better team. Most teams put their better player in A spot. Sometimes they put him in the middle as a captain kind of thing. So as players finish, they can watch the captain. It's a whole psychological thing where to put your teammates and stuff. But yeah, so a lot of mirror matches. The decks that I lost to was oh my gosh, I got pretty unlucky against an Ichiko waifu deck. So I died to that. That was funny. Not really, but whatever. I lost to Bang Dream and Poppin' Party. Bang Dream, I think. Unless that's Sunshine and I'm stupid.
Poppin' Party's Bang Dream.
Okay, and then I lost, it was yellow. Then I lost to, in the finals, or in the top 8, I lost to Love Live Sunshine, red dot deck. That deck's also pretty scary, actually. But yeah, I guess we'll get into the deck profile because that's probably why you guys are here. My deck is pretty stock. I looked at some of the Japanese lists and took what I liked from it and changed it a little bit. I am not happy with the deck that I registered, and I had no opportunity to change my deck because we had to put the deck log in a week out. So that's unfortunate, but it's whatever. So yeah, this is not my finalized build, but it's the build that I played with. So, all right. First off, we got the 3/5 Armin Rudy Runner. If you have 5 cards in hand, it gets 2k, so it's 3/5, and then it can run to the middle. Pretty good card for most decks to be playing. There's a reason I'm only playing 3, and that's because I'm playing 2 Clean Cut Eris. On play, you can reveal a top card of your deck. If it's a character or an event that I don't play, you put it underneath as a marker, and during your turn, if it has a marker, it gets 2k, so it's 3/5 on your turn. And then when it reverses a character, you can target one of your characters, rest it, and move it to the back row. So I liked having the option of Rudy's good going first, Eris is good going second, and the next card I'm going to bring up kind of can search for either. So I'll bring up him now. The Roojard. This card's pretty unique. Not every set has these. On play, you can take a card from your hand and put it into your clock, and then search your deck for a character. So it doesn't cost stock, which is super nice. It can color fix, and it can grab whatever you need. Pretty sweet. It's also really good going first because you can play that, grab a Rudy Runner, just let him chill in the back. It's fine.
The card's so good.
Yeah.
And it's only a rare.
Yeah, mine's SR or whatever.
Oh my god.
But like being able to search a clean cut if you want to is pretty nice. Searching for brainstorms or any of my other like one of cards, it can also grab like anything else. Like it's not restricted to one or less a grade like level 1 or less card. It can grab any character, so it's good at all points in the game. You can also discard. Actually, no, I'm stupid. Well, one thing that I did a lot was put my 2/2 Ghislaine into clock, so when I leveled up, it went to the waiting room, and I had it in there for standby and stuff. But yeah, overall, pretty good card. Next up, we got the Roxy Brainstorm. Whenever you play a climax into your climax area, you can choose one of your characters and give it pay 1 stock twin drive. So that's really good for paying out standby climaxes, which this deck is 8 standby, so it's the only thing you'll be standbying out. But and then it's a rest self salvage brainstorm. Another reason to play the Eris Clean Cut is because there was a couple times where you'd like play it, reveal climax on top, and you're like, well, I don't really want to trigger that right now, so like you can use the brainstorm and go and like, you know, salvage something else so it doesn't get stuck. Because sometimes if you're attacking for three attacks and your first trigger is a standby, sometimes it can get buried if you didn't already play a standby to trigger the Roxy effect, because otherwise you'd just be able to pay it out instantly, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, there's some just weird scenarios where it came up, but I was very happy with the 2 Clean Cut. Yeah, 5 card brainstorms are playable. Next up, we got this like kind of like weird but like normal card. It's a Roxy level 0. It's 2K. When you play it, you can discard a card and salvage the one of the events that I'm playing, the pendant, or I guess it's an amulet, whatever. I've been calling it a pendant. That's fine. So you can salvage that, and then its other skill is on play. You can look at the top and bottom card of your opponent's deck. So I played it a couple times, and my opponent's like, "Wait, what?" And like they had to like pick up the card and read it because they didn't believe me that I get to look at the top and bottom of their deck.
No.
Yeah, they thought like top was reasonable, but when I said, "Can I look at the bottom of your deck?"
That's just flavor.
Yeah, they're like, "What the hell?" But yeah, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you know there's a climax on top of your opponent's deck, maybe you change your attack order. But usually you focus more on your own attack order just because you don't want to like bury climaxes. And you want to attack with your like weakest character first. So when you trigger a standby, like if your back row is already like good because you played a standby already, you just call over the other thing. So it didn't really matter. But it's just fun to look at your opponent's deck and like read their cards.
Especially if it reads them out.
Yeah.
Roxy's peeping.
I guess one thing that actually was relevant is I saw a climax on the bottom of my opponent's deck, so I actually knew how many they had left in their deck, so that kind of changed like a play.
Spicy.
Yeah. Like it made me get a little greedy and put a Ghislaine in an open lane and swing for 3.
Oh.
That's what it made me do, which, you know, I don't know if that's the best thing to be doing, but it made me do that, so it's whatever. Next up, we got some one-ofs. These are all searchable off the Roojard. We got this Rudy promo. On play, if your opponent only has one character in their front center stage, you can, if it's a cost 0, you can kill it, send it to waiting room. So like in the mirror match, if they go like runner, you just like go Roojard into this promo and just kill it. And then swing for, you know, just twice or something. The other effect is when it's sent to the waiting room, you can pay 2 stock and salvage a character. So you can like salvage like anything that's like, I don't know, you can get a brainstorm back or like a level 1 combo or I don't know, just whatever. You can even salvage him back if you want to just keep plussing. I mean, paying 2 stock for a plus is not great, but you know, it's a plus.
That card's so good. The Roojard's so good.
It's a nice one of, because with the Roojard you just grab it.
Yeah. Everything is a 4 of. Or 5 of potentially with the Roojard.
Yeah. Next up we got this another Rudy card. This one's actually pretty good, I would say. And I liked having it as much as I could. On play, you can give something 1,000 power, and then when you play a climax, you can bounce it back to hand, give something else 1,000 power, and then look at the top 2 cards of your deck and rearrange them however you want. So it's like a splittable 2K pump, essentially. But being able to look at the top and rearrange your your attack order is actually super nice. So you're not triggering standby on the first attack. That's like why this card is actually super broken, actually. Because then you can attack, like I was saying before, you attack with your weakest character first, you trigger the non-standby, and then the second attack you trigger the standby, call over the other level 0. Lastly, I'm playing one of this Eris level 0. I hate this card. This card actually sucks. And the art sucks too, but whatever.
Oh my gosh.
I was only playing it as like a panic button for when... I guess I'll explain the effect. So when it's sent to waiting room, you can discard a card from your hand and reveal up to the top 4 cards of your deck and add a level 1 or higher card. You are allowed to grab the level 1 event off it, which I guess is nice and maybe a small reason to play it. And it does mill your deck, so you can get more standby targets. But the main reason I had it in the deck was so I could play it, because this deck pluses so hard. You end up getting to a point where you're just not clocking just because like you just have so many cards, because your opponent can't beat your board typically. It's very hard for your opponent to beat your board. So they're just crashing all day. But it's nice because you just, you just play this and then you call over it, ditch like a standby target or something that you don't want. Maybe a climax or something. Probably not a climax. I mean, sometimes a climax, but usually you want to keep your climaxes in hand so you can keep playing them. But just so you can mill through your deck. Like there was like games where I was like triple brainstorming in a turn and like playing this and just like trying to mill through my deck because I had just refreshed and then I was out like 6 climaxes already. I'm like, oh my god. So I just like had to mill through my deck as fast as possible. Otherwise I would have just taken like 30 straight damage. Like it was bad. But yeah, this card sucks, but it's like in there as like a fail safe, I guess. I don't know. I hate this card, but that's besides the point. Next up, we got this pretty sweet level 1 combo, Eris combo. It's a 1/1/5/5 that gets 2,000 power if all of your characters are 6-sided world, which is like everything. So it's basically a 1/1/7/5. Like there's no real restriction there. It's like it's basically wasted text at that point. So I don't really know why it's there. But the climax combo is basically, I call it a cup combo with this climax standby. Pretty normal standby. But when you play this onto your climax zone, you mill the top 2 cards of your deck. You add up the levels, and then you can salvage a character whose level is equal to or lower. So if you mill like a 2 and a 1, you can salvage a 3 or lower character. Again, a lot of things can happen when you play your climax, and you can have them happen in any order you want. So like my typical board, you could have like your Eris is out, you could have your Brainstorm in the back, and then this Rudy in the back. And what you can do is you can mill the 2 cards off this, off each one, get your plussing back, and maybe get like backups and stuff. And then you would give something Twin Drive. You would bounce the Rudy, give power, which usually isn't needed, but sometimes. Then you'll look at the top 2, see the order, and then after this has been bounced, then you resolve the standby effect and put the 2/2 into play. So it's a lot of effects happening at the same time, and the order of them does matter. But yeah, so that's like a super cool thing. But yeah, it's great. It mills through your first deck, gives you more opportunity for standby targets. So yeah, you do this first so you have better standby targets. And then you have the Twin Drive, so you'll look at top 2, you'll see a climax, non-climax. You'll give like whatever, like not your weakest character. I guess it just depends on how your board's looking, but you can swing with the first one, clean stock, swing with the second one, put another 2/2 in front where the other one just attacked, then attack with the third one, use the Twin Drive effect, pay it out, and maybe even hit another standby. And you've played 3 standbys in one turn, and it's like the standby is right on top of your stock, so you just like pay it out next turn, so it's no big deal. But this combo was really good. I liked it. It being a 1/1 didn't really matter. Like, I guess if you went first and only had one attack, and they just like rush you and slam a climax and you get to level 1, I guess you can only play one of it. Because you don't have enough stock. But like, sometimes you even stand by one out at level 0, depending on, and we can get into that like later too once the whole deck's down. But yeah, I guess next up for level 1s for like attackers and stuff, we got this like Ghislaine Accelerate card. The card's super sweet. It gets 500 for each other character, so it's basically a 6k. And then before your climax step, you can accelerate, where you take the top card of your deck, put it into your clock. So you basically take a damage, and then it gets 1000 power, and on reverse, look at up to the top 4 cards of your deck and add a character to hand. And because it says up to, if you're like compressed in like second deck, you don't have to go all the way down, but in first deck, you can like aggressively mill too. There was even a time where like I had a small amount of deck left and it didn't have, because I had milled through a decent amount of it with Eris. And the first card I saw was not I attacked with this last, and the first card I saw was like not a climax. So I was like, I'm just going to take this card because I had like 3 climaxes left and like 6 or maybe 7 cards. And then I just like triple cancel and swing back. So it's like, yeah, why would you mill through all of it if you don't need to? But yeah, this card's really cool. It's also really good to like stand by this out at level 0. So then you can, you know, it walls up pretty good because it's pretty big for a level 0, you know, if you get it out at level 0. And then because you can run over your opponent's level 0s, you can accelerate yourself quicker to like level 1 if you need to, and just start getting free mills and pluses off your opponent's level 0. So that's like a really good card to stand by out at level 0 too. So lastly, for like characters, I guess we have this Roxy 2k backup. That's all it does. It's free. I salvage it a lot off my Eris. It's like usually the first thing I grab, because these are 7/5s, and with the Ghislaine, which we'll talk about in a second, it's a global 1k. So then they're 8/5s, so this makes them 10/5, and like it, like protecting your Eris so you can standby combo again. And at that point, you just stop clocking because you're just plussing off the Eris, you're plussing off your board just being huge. But yeah, so that's a pretty good card. I don't know, can they see this over here? Can they see that?
Yeah.
Okay. If I put this up here, can they see it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Lastly, for level 1s, we got this amulet, the Roxy amulet. You can only play it if you have a Roxy on your field, which you should be having your Brainstorm out, because your Brainstorm is really good when you're playing your climaxes, because then you pay out the stock. Pretty basic stuff at this point. But yeah, this card's super sweet. It's free. You put it in a memory. You search your deck for a character, whatever you need, add it to hand, and then you discard a card. And then when you level up, you could send it from memory to search your deck for a card again. So it's really good when you start getting way too many cards in hand, because then you can start like minusing yourself by putting them all like in memory, ditching like your extra standby targets and whatever. And then once you like level up to level 3, you just like pop all of them off, put them in your waiting room, search for like 3 of your finisher or your rest counter or whatever you need. And then your deck just gets compressed by like 3 cards because you just took out 3 cards, and then you're going to cancel and you have your finishers, and it's kind of broken. But this is the card that you get off the Roxy level 0. But yeah, if your opponent's like running into lanes and can't like win board, putting the Roxy down into an open lane and salvaging this and like using it is pretty good. But yeah, this card's actually kind of insane. Like, it kind of reminds me of like the Mask event from Slime, which is kind of better. I don't know. It searches for 2 cards at the cost of 2 cards, so it's really not a plus. And when you first use it, it's a minus. But you build hands so easy in this deck to where it really doesn't matter. And you don't even have to use it. Like, usually you're using this at level 1, but most of the time I don't even use it when I level up to level 2. I just leave it there and then just wait until I level up to level 3, and that's when I choose to grab it. Because there's just been too many times where I have like 8 or 9 cards in hand at level 2 and just, I don't want cards at that point. So, yeah, this card's really good though. Next up, we got level 2s. Alright, so I'm playing the full 4 of the Ghislaine 2/2. This card is kind of broken too, just like the rest of this deck, honestly. So she gets 2k for each of your back row, so she's 9k. And then she's a global 1000 to everything else, not including herself. So she does not pump herself. But when you have your initial board of like, you know, heiresses in the front, you stand by her out to the back, the heiresses become 8/5. And then if you stand by another one out, they become 9/5, and she'll be 10 in the front if you have like another one out. So she gets very big. If they can kill her, she does die. Like, she doesn't have hand on core or anything. So that, I'm not going to say that's unfortunate, because she's just really a good card, so it doesn't really matter. And you're just going to stand by more stuff out anyway. So, but I just wanted the full 4. Some people are cutting it down to 3 and playing like other cards. But I just wanted the full 4 just so I always have it in waiting room and don't really have to worry about getting it in there. So then I can spend time like searching other cards and ditching other cards and things. Also, if I trigger too many standby targets, having one in hand just to play and pay out the stock is actually pretty good. Yeah, card's nice. For another like attacking grade 2, we have this 2/2 heiress. She's 6k. She gets 1000 for each other character, so she's 10k. And then she has hand on core. So yeah, I mean, in standby mirror matches, I was trying to get this out as fast as I could so that I could just keep hand on coring it. And that worked out pretty well. But yeah, usually I was just full Ghislaine mode and just keeping them out, and just this was whatever. Next up, we got the infamous rest counter, the Rudy with the panties on his face. I'm sure a lot of people love this art. I'm just kidding. It's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, so it's a 2/5 counter for 1 stock, and then you can pay an additional 4 and discard a card and choose one of your opponent's characters and rest it. So this basically taps down any of your opponent's attackers. You can't target things with like hexproof or you know, or whatever, things that can be targeted. But there's currently not a lot of that in in standard or like in English right now. Don Machi is coming out, and they're getting like a level 3 that just is big and basically just destroys this card. But yeah, it is a heavy cost, so it's hard to use more than 1 per game. Like I didn't use it more than once per game in any of my matches in the tournament. In playtesting, there was one time where like I used it at level 2, and then next turn I brainstormed salvage and got it back for like 2 turns later. But yeah, I never was able to use it multiple times per game. But yeah, the card is super nice. I was only playing 1. I might consider going to 2 because then I won't have to like search it as much. But usually I salvage it off the heiress after I grab the Roxy. The Roxy backup. So I like to grab like all the backups, because at that point my board is just so big that I just want the backups, because those are going to be more useful cards. And then lastly for 2s, I play this Ghislaine early play killer backup. Again, it's just a 2/5 counter. You can pay 2 stock and sack a character. Let me double check. Yeah, sack a character. And then choose one of your opponent's characters that is level higher than their current level. So if they play a level 3, level 2, you can kill it. You can also like sacrifice something that's like going to die already, so like that's fine. But yeah, being able to play, being able to kill early plays, so then they can't like get over your 2s is pretty good. Also, you can like back up a Ghislaine with that, win that lane and kill the other ones. Like, that's actually pretty gross, but it doesn't come up that often. But it's also just another backup to have in the deck, so that's nice. All right, lastly up, we got our 3s. We have our finisher, Ghislaine level 3. This card is very good and very mediocre at the same time. It heals, which is nice. On your opponent's turn, it's only 9, so it's not big on your opponent's turn. But hopefully, you have like other ways to kind of buff her up, and you can like kind of protect her. But on your turn, she gets 5k, and your opponent cannot use backups. Or event cards. So basically, when you attack with this, your opponent is not doing anything, which is actually super nice to have because you feel so safe when you're attacking with like these, and you know your opponent like can't do anything about it. So yeah, it's nice just to have like just a big run over whatever healer. And then she combos with standby, of course. Standbys are good. And the combo for this, I don't think it's that good. It's on attack, pay 2 stock, burn 2. In theory, dealing damage in 2s should be good, but it's hard with this deck when you have the rest counter to like triple this. Like, I think it's just like you're not gonna get 3 of them off because you would need what, like 9 stock down to 3 stock on attack, go to 1 up to 2 down to you need 10 stock to be able to triple Ghislaine if you play all of them from hand to heal 3 or something. I don't think that's like super realistic. And then at that point you would just have no stock to use your rest counter, which would feel bad. So usually you're only using it once or twice. But yeah, swinging for 2s, like, it's fine, but it's not great. But I think it's mostly there for just healing and stuff. All right, can they see this one if I put this one down? Probably.
Yeah. That's
okay, I'll just lay it like this. Okay, yeah. I'll stay here.
You and your teeny tiny playmat.
Oh my gosh. Next up, we got this Paul. It's a level 3. I don't think I played it from hand. My only yellow fix. Actually, I have some yellow fix. Mostly just the Rudy runner, but it's a global 15, including himself, so he's 10k. On attack, pay 1 twin drive. And the main reason we play him is his other effect. When your opponent's character that battles him, if they attack and you cancel the damage, you can mill the top card of your deck. If it has a soul icon, then you can discard a card or a character. Discard something. Yeah, discard a character, and then you burn your opponent for the same amount of damage that you just canceled. So if they swing for 3 and you cancel the 3, you mill the top card. Yeah, if it has an icon, which I think is 24 in the deck, I'm not 100% sure, then you would burn 3 back. So you can like kill your opponent on their turn if they're not careful. Like, I put this out and my opponent like had to attack him last because so they have to attack in like weird orders or set up their numbers weird. It's pretty good.
How many times did you get that burn skill off?
Never.
Oh.
Never.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it never happened. He's mostly there just for a 15k assist. I'm pretty sure he has to be in the front row for the assist.
The 15 is in the front row, like that Kaguya.
Yeah, if this card's in your center stage, everything gets 15, So he has to be in front. So standbying him out to the back row is usually not a plan. Like, I usually don't do that. Card's fine. I actually think he underperformed. That being said, I never used him, so I don't know. The 15k
it's good enough, even like as a one-up.
Yeah,
or something.
Like the problem is like Ghislaine's already so big that like if you on your second attack hit a standby and stand him out to something that already attacked to buff your other 2 characters, like if you have Ghislaine's out, you're already running over whatever. Like there's nothing that I've seen that can stop Ghislaine.
That's cross turn though, right?
Yeah, this is cross turn, but Ghislaine's already going to be probably 11 or 12 cross turn with like other cards. But yeah, this card
just an extra little buff though.
Yeah, he was fine.
Oh my gosh.
All right,
just a hater.
Next up, I got this Roxy. I'm only playing 1. I probably could have played 2, but like with the event or the amulet, I could always search it and ditch it right away and standby it out if I wanted to, and then have this ready for when I level up to 3 and just search for something. But yeah, 2k assist to the 2 characters in front of her. So usually I put her behind Glaine's to hit 16 if I needed to, which never was relevant. Sometimes behind these Glaine's. When you trigger a standby during your battle, or when you trigger a trigger during your battle phase, you can give something Twin Drive. So you can immediately pay it out, which is nice. And then the last effect is like on play, draw 2, ditch 1, I think. Oh no, I'm bad at this game. Okay, so yeah, it is on play, draw 2, ditch 1. But it's when you reveal a climax on trigger check, you actually give one of your characters power, 1,000 power, and then on attack, pay 1 Twin Drive. Yeah, so I did not even know about the power. I played this deck to top 8 and did not even know about the power.
Well,
that's crazy.
I think that just means that the deck has enough power.
Yeah, no, I actually didn't even know it gave 1,000 power. That's funny. I just knew it was pay out the climax I just triggered. Okay, I mean, I don't think that ever came up, but that's actually super funny. Next up, I'll have 2 cards that are both one-ofs. This Sylphie was pretty good. I have it in here just as a just-in-case kind of thing. It's a stock swap. It's on play. What, pay 1? Yeah, pay 1. The green fix is just the Roojard. So, like, I usually level red or blue first, depending on how much damage I'm at. And then, like, if I'm 1-0, then I have to level red because red's like your main color. But if you're at like 1-2 and like leveling up and you know you're getting red in your clock, then sometimes I'd level blues because I don't have a ton of blue and you need enough blue to like do your whole like pendant stuff, amulet stuff, whatever. The other effect on here is if you have like a card in memory, it gets like 1,500 power, but I don't play the card that needs to be in memory, so it's just a stock swap. But I would keep playing this. I actually like just having this because if your opponent is just sending tons of stuff to memory, compressing really well, and has a small deck with a lot of climaxes, being able to grab this off the pendant, stock swap them, and then try to push direct attacks for damage is actually really nice. Lastly, I got this Eris early play. I think this card is also kind of crap. It gets 15k and hand encore. If all your character, if you have 2 or more other characters, it gets 15k and it's not hand encore. It's discard a card. When it becomes reversed, you bring it back to your hand. So you can like save it if it dies, I guess, which happened like once. But it's early play if you have 2 or less climaxes in waiting room, which is actually kind of cool because you can, if you level up to level 2 and you have 2 or less climax, like if you have a fresh waiting room, if this is in your deck, you can actually use your pendant if you have one set up already to search for this, and then you can like play it. But the other effect is when you play it from your hand, you can reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a character or I think an event that we don't play, then you can burn your opponent for 1, which I whiffed on that like so many times. So that was just unfortunate. So I think I would not play this and play like the there's like a Rudy that gets like a lot of power early play with like no backups and stuff. I'd rather play that. But yeah, the deck's very good. If I were to change some things, God, what would I change? Like, Paul's not great. I don't know. I don't like him, but I think he might be just necessary. I would definitely like cut this for one of the Rudy level 3s. Maybe cut this Eris. Maybe. There's like a maid card. What's her name? Did you have a name?
Oh my god, isn't it like
Lillian?
Liliana? Let me check.
It's like a level 0 that you can tap to discard an event to salvage a character, or you can tap it to give one of your characters when it reverses a character. Oh yeah, this one. When you reverse a character, you can take the top card of their stock. Or no, you send the character to stock, and then you take the bottom card of their stock and put it in the waiting room. So you can like bury their climaxes. But this is really good in the mirror match to kill your opponent's heiresses if they're playing this one. So there was a guy who I thought he got top 8, and I saw his deck list where he was playing like 2 Ghislaine and like 3 of this one. So this would have been really good against like that. But I ultimately didn't play this card just because like it was weird to keep in your back row, and then like if you stand by, you call over it. It just kind of feels bad. But I guess if you're just plussing so much, I guess it doesn't matter. So maybe this is like worth considering putting back in. But yeah, overall the deck ran pretty good. Like it's a solid deck. Like I don't really have any complaints. It's just good. I guess problems that I had with the deck, which I don't even know if they're problems, but like I would have my opponent would just continuously crash into your board because it's so big, and then you would just keep direct attacking them, and they would just like be swinging for like 3s and 4s, and then they just like keep canceling. So it was like kind of awkward like that if they get compressed, because then you can't like do smaller amounts of damage. Also, like, because I didn't want to keep killing myself, there's only 4 healers in the deck. So whatever damage you're at, you're kind of like at. Like there's not a ton of healing, and there's no healing until level 3, so you can't heal down from 2. So if you eat too much damage, like that definitely feels bad too. So I kind of just got like scared and stopped clocking because I already had like cards in hand and it was just already winning board. But then you're just like not searching for things, and like I don't know. It has some weird mid game where you're just like not searching for anything. You're just kind of hoping your board gets you there. But yeah, the deck was good. I'll probably play it again if we go to Texas.
How would you say the mirror match was?
Mirror matches were great. One of my opponents had this card, and he like definitely killed my heiress. Because I really focused on trying to get this, and then yeah, he killed it. So that was not good for me. There was actually one play where one of them definitely outplayed me, because I definitely like played standby this out, and then he used the early play killer to back up one of his cards, killed this, and then my Ghislaine was too small, and then like I lost the Ghislaine, and then my other thing like got smaller, and oh my god, it was like the worst thing. But I was able to like recover, because that cost him a lot of resources to do that.
Yeah.
Just for me to stand, like I got that card for free basically.
Yeah.
But I did end up having to like reset my board. Like he didn't really have anything anyway, so he was able to save 1 lane, but it definitely like set me back a little bit. And I was like hesitant to put that out, but I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. And just like, I guess my logic is I was trying to force him to do it because I thought him losing the resources would be better. But after like him using the backup on me, it felt so bad after it happened. I was just sitting there like, I wish I didn't do this. Like I don't know. But maybe it would have been worse if I standby'd like a Ghislaine out and then just, I don't know, let him just save his resources. Maybe that would have been better for him. So maybe forcing him to use the resources was better. All I know is it just felt bad.
Yeah.
There was something else I was gonna say about. Oh god.
As someone who has never piloted the deck herself, you know, this deck is such a pain to go against. Like, and I even remember overhearing your opponents just like jaw dropping if they weren't familiar with the deck, with how big like the 1/1 heiresses were, and just it's so nasty. Like I think
yeah, it's like 8/5, 8/5, 11K, and they're like, what?
Yeah, like you had me name your deck in deck log, and I was like, Twin Drive's my middle name or something.
Oh yeah,
like
that's the
that,
name of the deck list. Yeah, no, that's pretty funny.
Man, like Twin Drive and 8 standby and like consistent Twin Drive is so disgusting.
That being said, the main reason I lost 2 of my games was I had just refreshed, and then I was like, I kept triggering standbys, and then I was using Twin Drive to pay them out, and I kept triggering more standbys. So I was just like out 5 or 6 of my like 7 that I refreshed with, and it was miserable.
Yeah.
I definitely had 2 games where I went from like 1-5 to like 3-1, because I was just like basically out.
Yeah. You all weekend you were saying the one card that this set needs is a free fresh counter.
I would do anything for a free fresh counter in this deck.
Well, I'm sure most people would love a Roojard that can just search for whatever you want.
Hey, Fate
And
Camelot's getting one of these.
Well, that's nice. Maybe Data Life will get one of those. And
This
I'll
card's
set up.
super sweet. Like, it doesn't cost stock. Like, this card's awesome.
How often did you use the stock swap?
Might have been once.
Oh, okay.
Maybe twice. Like, I think I grabbed it against the slime player, but then he just ended up just dying anyway. Like, I felt so bad because he refreshed with like only a couple, and then he just died.
Hey man, I refreshed with 4 and I ended up winning.
Oh my god.
It happens.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about your sleeves really quick?
Oh yeah. So I was using these cool Comiket sleeves, and then once I got into top 8, they made me switch. So I bought these like cute. I don't even know their name. I just like this show. I watched a couple episodes, and it's super cute. So I got these sleeves from like a vendor. So I had to use them because I couldn't use my other ones.
Yeah, luckily we bought those because the vendor was all shut
Packed
down
up,
by the
yeah.
time top 8 happened.
Yeah.
Do you think this deck's oppressive?
It feels oppressive playing it. Like, it feels like what you're doing is just so much better than what your opponent's doing.
It's because it is.
That being said, like, my Love Live Sunshine opponent, like, they were down to like 2 cards in hand and like, what was it, 5 stock, and they, like, I was like, I'm so far ahead. I'm ahead like a level on damage. They have no hand. Like, I'm ready. I have good cards. Just out of nowhere, they put out a whole board of 3s. They get the early play out that brings out the other thing. They get another one. They have a 2-1 in the back, and all from like just a couple cards. I'm like, where'd all these cards come from? And then they like on attack like burn me for 3. And I just eat all the damage, and then I'm just like at 3, and I like try to win board, but then he was still able to kill me on the next turn. But yeah, that game got out of control very fast.
Love Live Sunshine is just a crazy whole separate. Like, we don't talk about Love Live Sunshine.
Yeah,
that
deck's still good for sure. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any like other like cool interactions that like I had. I don't know, like I feel like I definitely just prioritize like getting the backups off this. Like the clean cut is good with the brainstorm. Like, I don't know. I thought I went over everything, so yeah. Again, if you have any questions about the deck, we can also do like some match videos so you guys can like see it in action. But it like when we were playtesting, just most things that Steven and Megan like threw at me just got slaughtered.
I know.
Like,
I beat the deck once. In all of our playtesting, I beat it 1 time.
yeah.
And that's only because Dakota had a rough start, and I, again, canceled a lot, because it's the only way to beat this deck, is you cancel, and you hope they have, like, just RNG bad time.
Mm-hmm. One thing I was going to talk about is how to mulligan with this deck, actually. So with the Eris, because it's your, like, level 1 combo, how I was playing it was, if you have the Climax combo in your hand with the Eris, I chose to keep it. But if I didn't have this combo, then I chose to ditch it. And then, like, especially if I had this one, because I would ditch this, play, like, a runner to, like, the left, stand by this out to the right, and now you have a 7-5, a 3-5, and you can cover the middle for 3-5. And, like, most decks can't deal with that.
Yeah.
Like, I guess one of my opponents played 2 bombs, like, right here. And I was like, all right, you can kill my one runner, and then I just move this over, kill the other one. Yeah, take your 1-for-1, and then I'll just run over your other one for free without getting bombed. Like, that was like a lot of work for them to out my, they didn't even out my, like, board, but yeah. This card, this Eris combo, I think is really good. It costing a stock doesn't matter. But yeah, I'll definitely cut this card. I think this card's bad.
It sounds like you want your Paul to go down to 1 as well.
I don't know what to do with that card. I don't know what to do.
It's like on paper, it seems good, right?
Yeah. It feels kind of like Yui. It should feel like Yui, because like Yui is when you take damage, you get a look at top and like mill stuff. Like the odds of you canceling his attack, there's no guarantee. But being able to like mill another one, if you mill a non-climax, then your chance of canceling the next attack is higher. But if you do mill a climax, then you're technically hitting off his effect anyway, and you're gonna burn him back. So
you could probably like play that 3/2 Rudy right here, and then just do that.
Yeah.
Or maybe like even.
Well, because there's the Rudy that gets a lot of power, but there's also the Rudy that heals the stock.
Yeah.
Is that an early play?
Very cool.
Because I would love an early play that heals, but I don't know if it's an early play healer.
Yeah, he's a 2 or less climax early play healer.
I'm 100% swapping this over. I've decided this event, it does make the deck 3 colors now because you're actually playing this from hand, or even possibly 4 color. But because of this, if this is in your deck, you can grab it off this, and then you're just like, I'm gonna early play heal the stock. This would help pay out climaxes. It would help discard dead cards. No, I'm 100% going more yellow. Now that I'm thinking about it, like somebody else played this card. That was a good call.
Quite a few decks do. I mean, people that love healing and need healing in their decks. Yeah,
this deck needs more healing. 100%. Yeah. For my personal play style, I love defensive decks, and this is perfect because this is a very defensive deck, but it does not have enough healing for me. So this is 100% gonna I'm gonna go and get some of those. So. Yeah. But yeah, no, I love the deck. It's nice.
Yeah.
That's good. Danamachi's gonna kill me though. I can't risk him.
Good.
He's gonna kill me.
Good.
At least the deck will have one bad matchup. Everything else felt winnable. Everything felt winnable.
I know.
There was not a matchup where I was like, I'm gonna die. The Sunshine deck can kill, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, you have to have a really bad game for this deck to fail. But I don't. With that being said, and they're doing ban lists now in English.
What would you ban out of the deck?
I don't. It's your deck.
What's fair?
I don't want this to be a super long video.
Oh, that's
it's supposed to be a deck profile, not a podcast. And you're at 47 minutes.
It's fine. People love content.
Oh my god. Okay.
The deck's still good even if it loses the rest counter.
I don't know. I don't even know what the problem is. Choice restrict something, I guess.
Okay, what if you choice restrict these two, so then you can't let this get super big, so you're just standbying out these?
Maybe.
Because the only reason this is good is because it gets super big off this, because this doesn't have hand on core.
Yeah, how relevant does the twin drive?
I want to ban my brainstorm. I want to ban the brainstorm.
Choice restrict your brainstorm, the 2/2 and the 1/1.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe that's effective based off that reaction.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it really needs to get hit, but something else needs to come out to
What do you mean it doesn't need to
Okay,
get
you know what? No, we'll talk about it. Your Kaguya and Data Live did not need to get banned with this coming out. That was 100% the wrong decision.
I agree. I think they just wanted to push more sets along, maybe.
Well, this came out and everyone's playing it now, so it's everyone's gonna play something.
Well, maybe because it was a controversial show, but they gave it good effects and things, and they just wanted to sell. I don't know. It's all speculation. We don't know why they did those things. I don't know why they hit my deck.
Yeah, I'm not even scared of Kurumi.
Yeah,
all right. Deck profile done. Thanks for watching.
All right. Thanks, guys. Go ahead and leave a like, comment, whatever you like. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
See you in
Bye. Oh my gosh.